everyone, it's Annalise. Welcome back to another video. I think it's been a little while since my last one, and those units of time are measured completely in how many GIFs Michael Pass sends me saying that he's still waiting for another video, so I guess it's been too long. So looking back at where I left off last, the weekend after that video, my friend Lucy and I went down to Kildare, which is a town in the next county over, which is also called Kildare, about 40 minutes away or so. So we went to this shopping center called Kildare Village, which is lots of like designer outlets. So it was very fun to like window shop and look around, and they did have some like very good sales actually, so I got some good workout clothes. It was very cute. And then the town has lots of statues and monuments to St. Bridget's, and she's from Kildare, so those were neat to see. Probably the best part was when we went to dinner, we got a brownie pizza, which was pretty fantastic. Can never complain about those two things being put together, obviously. And then the day after that, I went to the All-Ireland Gaelic football semi-final. So it was Kerry versus Derry, which made the chants very confusing. It was hard to tell who anyone was cheering for if you couldn't see their jersey. But it was a very close game. Derry was in the lead for most of it, but then near the end, Kerry pulled ahead, scored like 5 points in a row, so it put them on top, and they won. So actually today, as I'm filming, this is like the Kerry versus Dublin final for Gaelic football, so we'll see who wins. Kerry has historically won the most. I want to say, I think it's 38 championships in the however many, like, I don't know, 80 years that they've been doing the All-Ireland finals. And then Dublin has the second most with like 30 wins, I think. And then after that, it's Galway with like 9 or something. So Dublin and Kerry are definitely the big like strongholds for Gaelic football. So we'll see who pulls ahead in that one. But it's very fun to watch. Still a little confusing because it looks like it should be soccer, but then obviously they're using their hands for parts of it. But it is entertaining to watch, and definitely much higher scoring than soccer, since you can score above the goal as well as below. So yeah, that was fun to watch. Weekend after that, it did the Op and Barbie movie doubleheader. I mean, we did have a decent gap in between. I think it was like ended up being a 5-hour gap in between the movies, so it didn't feel like going right from one to the other. But they were both good. I thought I do feel like Oppenheimer is probably gonna win Best Picture. I'd be surprised if like another movie comes out before then that wins it, but I mean, you never know. And we saw Oppenheimer in 70mm at the Irish Film Institute, so that was a fun experience. Although we're in the front row, which was a little bit difficult, like craning our necks up the whole time. And my ears were ringing for probably like an hour afterwards. It was so loud, but it was very good and very interesting. And you know, as an engineer, I liked how much physics they put into it. It was fun seeing all those equations on the board and feeling like a lot of the concepts they were talking about, we talked about in my physics classes, so that was fun. And then everyone was like very dressed up for Barbie, which was fun too. And then last week, so Thursday night, was at work, there's like a sports and social club, and so they give discounted tickets to things, and so there was an event hosted by them going to the Leopardstown races, which is like in South Dublin, this big horse racing track. So Lucy and I went to that because, I mean, neither of us have ever been to any horse races before, so we thought it'd be a fun experience. They're like very, very popular here, and everyone gets all dressed up. And so, yeah, it was fun just to go and see what that was like. With our tickets from work, we got like free €5 bets, so we didn't get anything from those, unfortunately, but it was just interesting to see. And then afterwards, still at the racing venue, there was a concert by a band called The Academic, who neither of us have really heard of, but they were fun. Just a fun like pop band, and they're from Ireland. So that was cool. Wouldn't have probably seen them otherwise, but they were fun. And then the next morning, Friday, Lucy and I took off of work, because a nice thing about even internships here, you get paid time off, which is funny. Definitely not really the case in the US. But so we took the day off to drive up to Donegal, which is a county in the northwest of Ireland, like the most northwest. and we just heard from everyone that it's like one of the most beautiful places in the whole country, so we thought we had to go up. So we drove up there and went straight to Glenview National Park, which was really, really pretty. There's like Glenview Castle, which is cool, but even just like the natural views, but then there are like gardens around the castle. Overall, just really pretty. Lucy and I came up with a theory that we think the castle is potentially cursed because it was built by someone who was known to be like really awful to his tenant farmers. And then since then, like the owner after him it disappeared mysteriously. They assume he drowned in the lake, but no one really knows. And Lucy and I were both like, that's a little suspicious because this lake is the most placid looking thing we've ever seen. And then the owner after him died very unexpectedly, apparently, right after having given the castle over to the Office of Public Works. So that's just our little theory, no real basis for it, but we thought it was interesting. But yeah, just really, really gorgeous area. And then we spent the night in just a little town called Donegal, which did have a festival going on, which is funny. We didn't know that at all. But just stayed in a cute little like apartment above an inn, which was fun. And the Donegal accent is, I would say, probably the most difficult to understand of any of the ones in Ireland so far, which I thought it would be Kerry. I did think Kerry was hard to understand, but Donegal was more difficult. It's like almost a Northern Irish accent, since obviously it's up in the north there, but just a little bit different, a little bit harder to understand. But everyone was very nice. And then the next day we went to Sleevely Cliffs, which are some of the highest sea cliffs in Europe, and it was absolutely stunning views. Like, it was very windy, to the point that like we did not go very near the edge because we were actually concerned. Very windy and rainy, but like still so pretty. Just like unbelievable how high we were, like in the clouds. Just very, very cool. Made it worth it that the driving to get there was very difficult. Lots of like one-lane roads that aren't one way, and so, you know, if another car is coming, you have to really like find a place to pull over off to the side. Like, very difficult, but worth it. And then after that we went and stopped in Donegal town, which we didn't do too much in because it was raining really badly, but got some good food. And then we went down just for a second to stop at Mullimore Head in Sligo, which is where Lord Mountbatten, who was like, I think a cousin of Queen Elizabeth, like very closely associated with their family. Like if you've seen The Crown, he's in it a lot. And that's where he was killed by the IRA. They like blew up a boat he was on with his family and some people from the area back in, I believe, the 70s, maybe the early 80s. And so that was interesting just to see, like, you know, it's a pretty historic spot. Yeah, and then we just came home. I took a very hot shower to deal with all the cold rain we've been getting, but it was a lot of fun going to Donegal. I think getting a lot more used to driving on the left side of the road, I would say. Yeah, overall been a good few weeks. I think I'll try and make one more video after this, show my last 2 weeks in Ireland. It's crazy that it's to that point. This summer has gone by incredibly fast. I can't believe it at all. But yeah, the last video will hopefully, so that'll show, I'll be in Kerry next weekend, so I'll show that. Maybe not too much else interesting since just finishing up lots of projects at work, but I'm enjoying work a lot too. So overall, just having a good time. I hope you guys are also all having a great summer, and yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.